This is the continuation of our story. What you witnessed before was only the surface. A much bigger storm is now building. In this episode, long-buried secrets will rise, shocking truths will shake everything you thought you knew, and powerful new enemies will emerge from the shadows. Just when you believed the battle was over, you will discover that it has only just begun. Stay with us as the story moves into its darkest, deepest, and most explosive chapter yet. You do not want to miss a single moment. If you are new here, subscribe to African Tales by Mira for more powerful, emotional, and unforgettable stories. And before we continue, please like this video, drop your comments, share with friends, and turn on your notification bell so you never miss what happens next. Minutes later, Ethan stood in front of a tall mirror wearing a charcoal suit that fit him perfectly. Sharp, polished, confident. He hardly recognized himself. Ariana entered quietly, watching from the doorway. "You look like a Carter," she said softly. Ethan turned. "I don't want to be just a Carter anymore." Ariana raised an eyebrow. "Then who do you want to be?" Ethan straightened his shoulders. "I want to be the man my mother believed I could be." Ariana gave a small approving nod. That evening, they gathered in the penthouse living room. Glass tables, modern art, and glowing city lights surrounded them. Malik opened his laptop and projected a large screen onto the wall. Bank records, security footage, and legal documents filled the display. "Vanessa is moving money again," Malik said. "And your father is signing off on it." Ethan's jaw tightened. "He knows exactly what she's doing." Ariana folded her arms. "Yes. And now we have leverage." Suddenly, Ethan's phone buzzed. A message appeared from Richard Carter. "Come home and apologize, and I might consider helping you." Ethan stared at the screen. Ariana stepped beside him. "He's testing your weakness." Ethan deleted the message without replying. At that moment, a breaking news alert flashed across the television. Headline: Richard Carter announces $10 million luxury housing project for low-income families. The room went silent. Malik scoffed. Generosity on camera. Corruption behind the scenes. Ethan clenched his fists. He's using people to clean his image. Ariana turned to him. "Which is why you must appear at his gala tomorrow night." Ethan's eyes widened. "The Carter Foundation gala?" "Yes," Ariana said firmly. "You will walk in calmly, confidently, and legally, as Richard Carter's son." Ethan swallowed hard. "He kicked me out." Ariana met his gaze. "And tomorrow, you return on your own terms." That night, Ethan stood alone on the balcony, city lights glowing beneath him. Wind brushed his face. He thought of his mother, her laughter, her kindness, her strength. "I will not let them erase you," he whispered. Across town, inside the glittering Carter mansion, Vanessa stood before a full-length mirror, adjusting her diamond necklace. Her phone buzzed. A message appeared from an unknown number. "Ethan is still alive in the game." Vanessa's smile faded. She clenched her phone tightly. "So be it," she murmured. Thunder rolled softly over Atlanta. Two powerful worlds were about to collide. The night of the Carter Foundation Gala arrived like a scene from a Hollywood film. The entrance of the Grand Monarch Hotel shimmered in gold light. Luxury black cars lined the red carpet, Rolls-Royces, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, and Maybachs, their polished bodies gleaming under bright cameras. Reporters, influencers, and elite guests crowded the front steps. Flashing lights popped non-stop. Inside, the ballroom was breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers, glass pillars, white marble floors, and towering screens displaying Richard Carter's smiling face beside the words. "Building a better future for Atlanta." Soft classical music played as waiters in white gloves moved gracefully with trays of champagne. At the center of it all stood Richard Carter, dressed in a custom black tuxedo, radiating authority. Beside him was Vanessa, draped in a sparkling silver gown, diamonds glistening on her neck and wrists. She looked like a queen, but her eyes were sharp, watchful, calculating. Reporters swarmed them. "Mr. Carter, Is it true you are donating $10 million to low-income housing? Richard smiled smoothly. I believe every black family deserves dignity and opportunity. Applause rippled through the crowd. Vanessa placed a hand on his arm. My husband has always been a man of the people. Suddenly, the music shifted. The massive doors at the far end of the ballroom swung open. Every head turned. The room went silent. Ethan Carter stepped in. He was unrecognizable. He wore a perfectly tailored midnight blue tuxedo, sleek black loafers, and a subtle diamond pin on his lapel. His posture was straight, his expression calm, confident, untouchable. Behind him walked Ariana Whitmore, elegant in a deep emerald gown, and Malik Grant, sharp in a charcoal suit. Whispers exploded through the hall. Is that Richard's son? I thought he was kicked out. Didn't they say he stole money? Cameras snapped wildly. Richard froze. Vanessa's smile cracked for the first time. Ethan walked forward slowly, eyes locked on his father. Ariana leaned close. Remember, calm, dignified, untouchable. Richard cleared his throat and forced a smile. Ethan, you came, he said loudly enough for reporters to hear. Ethan stopped just inches from him. Yes, father, he replied coolly. I did. A reporter shouted, Mr. Carter, is your son back in the family? Before Richard could answer, Ethan spoke first. I am here to support the foundation, he said clearly. Not to beg for forgiveness for a crime I did not commit. Gasps filled the room. Vanessa stepped forward sharply. That is enough, Ethan. Ethan turned to her slowly. Good evening, Vanessa, he said. Or should I say, Mrs. 45,000. Ariana nearly smiled. The crowd murmured in shock. Richard frowned. What are you talking about? Ethan raised his phone and tapped the screen. Suddenly, all the ballroom screens flickered and switched. Vanessa's face appeared on security footage. There she was, opening the safe in Richard's office, removing the cash, and slipping it into her designer bag. The entire room gasped. Reporters began shouting at once. Mrs. Carter, is this real? Did you frame your stepson? Vanessa staggered back, pale. Richard stared at the screen in disbelief. Vanessa, what is this? She grabbed his arm. Richard, listen. This is manipulated. Malik stepped forward. The footage is verified. The room erupted in chaos. Ethan looked at his father calmly. You didn't just kick me out, he said quietly. You chose her over your own child. Richard's face trembled, anger, shame, confusion all at once. Ariana spoke up clearly. Ladies and gentlemen, my firm represents Ethan Carter. We will be filing legal charges against Vanessa Carter for theft, fraud, and defamation. Flashbulbs exploded like fireworks. Vanessa tried to leave, but security blocked her path. She turned to Richard desperately. Baby, don't believe this. But Richard looked at her differently now, like a man seeing a stranger for the first time. At that moment, police officers entered the ballroom. The lead officer stepped forward. Mrs. Vanessa Carter, you are under investigation. Please come with us. The crowd parted as she was escorted out, heels clicking sharply against marble. Before disappearing, she turned and locked eyes with Ethan, pure hatred burning in her gaze. Ethan did not flinch. Reporters rushed toward Richard. Mr. Carter, did you know about this? Richard stood frozen, speechless. Ethan turned toward the cameras. My name is Ethan Carter, he said firmly. And tonight, the truth begins. Thunder rolled faintly outside, as if the city itself was watching. Across the room, Ariana met Ethan's eyes and nodded. The battle had just begun. The morning after the gala, every TV station in Atlanta carried the same headline. Stepson framed. Vanessa Carter exposed. Richard Carter disappeared from public view. Reporters camped outside the mansion. His phone rang non-stop. His business partners began calling lawyers. Inside Ariana's penthouse, Ethan sat quietly while Malik laid out new evidence. Bank records showed that Richard had signed off on several suspicious offshore accounts, many controlled by Vanessa. Ariana looked at Ethan. "Your father didn't just believe her," she said. "He benefited from her crimes." That evening, Richard requested a private meeting. Ethan agreed, but only in Ariana's office. Richard arrived looking older, defeated, and terrified. He looked at Ethan and whispered, "Son, I'm sorry." Ethan did not smile. "You chose her over my mother," he said coldly. "And over me." Richard broke down in tears. He confessed that Vanessa had slowly taken control of his business, and that Marianne, Ethan's mother, had discovered illegal deals years ago. Richard admitted that he knew Marianne was in danger, but stayed silent to protect his empire. Ethan felt his chest tighten. "So my mother died, because of you," he said quietly. Richard couldn't speak. Ethan stood up. "I will not forgive you today." Ariana placed a hand on his shoulder. Malik uncovered sealed hospital records and surveillance footage from the night Marianne died. She had not died from natural causes. A tampered brake line was discovered on her car. The person who ordered it? Vanessa Carter. Ariana filed a civil and criminal case, not only for theft, but for conspiracy in Marianne's death. The news shocked Atlanta. At the same time, Richard was charged with corporate fraud, cover-up, and obstruction of justice. His companies began collapsing. Luxury apartments were frozen by the courts. The Carter mansion was placed under investigation. Ethan watched it all from the balcony of the Whitmore penthouse, calm, composed, and powerful. He was no longer a frightened boy. He was a man shaped by pain and truth. Vanessa stood in court in an orange jumpsuit. Her lawyer fought hard, but the evidence was overwhelming. Security footage, bank records, witness testimonies, Marianne's death investigation. Verdict: guilty. She received a long prison sentence. Before being taken away, she locked eyes with Ethan. He looked at her, not with anger, but with quiet finality. "Your power is gone," he said softly. She was led away in handcuffs. The cameras flashed. Justice had been served. Richard Carter stood alone in court. No wife. No allies. No image left to hide behind. He was found guilty of financial crimes and negligence that led to his wife's death. His assets were seized. His mansion was emptied. His name, once respected, became a warning. Before sentencing, Richard looked at Ethan. "I failed you." Ethan replied calmly, "You failed my mother first." Richard bowed his head. Months later, the city skyline glowed brightly over Atlanta. Ethan Carter stood at the grand opening of the Marianne Carter Foundation, a real housing initiative for low-income black families. Reporters surrounded him. Ariana stood proudly beside him. Malik smiled in the background. Ethan spoke into the microphone. "My mother believed in truth, dignity, and fairness. Today, I honor her legacy, not with revenge, but with rebuilding lives." Thunderous applause filled the air. Later that night, Ethan returned to a sleek new luxury apartment he had purchased himself, not from his father's money, but from legal settlements and his own growing investments. He stood by the glass window, looking at the city. Ariana joined him. "You won," she said softly. Ethan shook his head. "We didn't win against people," he replied. "We won for the truth." He looked up at the sky. "Mom, I kept my promise." The lights of Atlanta shimmered like stars below. And for the first time in years, Ethan Carter felt free.